step right up and get your tickets for another moment in gaming history. Hey guys, welcome back to your next moment in gaming history. Today we're going to talk about something that, well, is not readily apparent as a big moment in gaming history, but did help shape the industry and help it grow in ways that no one had really seen before. Because today we're going to talk about not a game or a piece of hardware, but a language. Basic programming. Before we get into BASIC and how it changed programming to a more modern standard that we know of today, let's take a step way back at how devices were programmed before computers. Yeah, you heard me. The year was 1770. Yep, you heard that right, 1770. And Pierre Choquet-Droz, a Swiss watchmaker, no, you're not hearing things, designed and built, for lack of a better word, a robot. No, hear me out here. He built a small automaton, a mechanical doll, that used a series of interchangeable gears to write letters with a quill that could be put into the doll's hand. You see, by changing one of these 600 different parts, he could quite literally program the doll to write different letters in any order he really wanted to. I know what you're thinking, how is this program? You're not really inputting anything, you're just changing out components. You're basically rebuilding the device. And you'd be right to an extent, so let's take another example. Year's 1804. Yeah, I know, I'm kinda shocked too. And you're not gonna believe this, but this is where the punch card system was actually patented. This was the first binary system that helped automate the process of weaving patterns into material. How this worked was, a series of cards were actually fed into a loom. If there was a hole in the card, the needle would rise. If there was no hole, the needle stayed down. The shuttle then traveled across the loom, creating a pattern in the fabric. This same type of process would actually be used later to represent data as far back as like 1890 in a computer system, basically representing ones and zeros. Binary language. Matter of fact, this process is proved out earlier by Ada Lovelace, who was the first to suggest that a computer could be more than just a calculator. The idea was that numerical values could be used to represent something other than a number. They could be symbols, notes, or, well, anything. She was also the first to use such a machine to translate a paper from French to English using a computer. Yeah, a woman was the very first programmer. Suck on that, patriarchy. I know what you're saying though. Why are you even talking about this when you're supposed to be talking about basic language? Well, first off, it's super cool. Okay, it's cool to me. Secondly, it helps you understand that programming in both of these instances was done in a vastly different manner and very specific to what they were doing, as were computers back in the day. You see, in a lot of ways, things hadn't really changed. Languages that computers could understand were fairly unique affairs that worked on one computer system and would have to be totally rethought and designed from the ground up to migrate to another computer system. Languages were independent and tailored to a particular manufacturer, be it Commodore, Atari, or even Amiga. BASIC set out to change this. This was a general-purpose beginner's language originally made in 1964, and did rather well, with multiple computer lines being made to support it. But what really made it take off was the rise of the minicomputer in the 1970s. You see, around this time, computers were getting cheaper and more affordable, and this language was meant to be easy to pick up and learn so that people could learn the concepts and preconceptions of programming in the easiest way possible at the time. This allowed for people to ramp up and learn programming faster, not only because it was a more universal language, it was easier to learn as well. Now almost anyone could learn to code, making for an explosion in video games as the skill level was easier to achieve. This meant more ideas could be developed and shown, awaiting players. But again, I hear you asking, where are you going with this? What does this old language have to do with anything? You see, what this was is an important start. It spun off more languages and programs, really pushing computing forward in a unified way, not only in gaming, but in more practical programs as well. This was a first. It spawned new languages with new ideas and new features, spinning onward time still to this day affecting programming as is done with C++, Perl, Java, and yes, even Unity. Much of what we do today is in part to BASIC as a language, not only for making it more accessible, but its similar syntax making it easy to port a program from one type of computer to another, helping propel not only the production on computers, but gaming as well. But what do you guys think of this one though? Do you think this is an important key moment in gaming? And, well, just computing in general? Have you ever tried programming in BASIC? Let me know in the comments. However, for now, thank you so much for spending part of your day with me. If you could do me one more favor, please leave this video a like. And if you haven't, consider subscribing, it really helps me out. However, for now, thank you once again for spending part of your day with me, and until next time, happy gaming.